Um, I am so glad to be here this evening. Um, Please do me a favor as soon as you log on, whether you're logging on right now, I'm live, or whether you're logging on 10 years from now. Please share this video and like it and inbox it to somebody. Inbox it to somebody. Inbox it to somebody. Somebody needs to hear this message on today. They are dying to hear this message on today. I guess I need to start off by saying that everyone goes through pain and heartache. And I have discovered this week, I've been reminded this week that some of those pains and those heartaches are more extreme for some people and harsher for some people, tougher to deal with for some people, and just um, excruciating for some people. But do not give up hope. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about here in a moment. Don't give up hope. Hang in there. That's really what this is. It's tonight's devotional. As we family and I, we get together every Thursday evening, typically at 7:30 in the evening. But tonight, in the past couple of weeks, I have been working with a AAU track team. We're getting ready to send some kids to the South Texas regional um, or district qualifier event on tomorrow. So we've been getting ready for that. Been coaching, helping coach this track team. So it's been putting me off my normal 7:30 schedule, but it'll be of good courage. Season's coming to an end, and seasons do end, and so I'll be back to my normal 7:30 shortly. But again, please like this video and share it. Whether you be on Instagram, whether you be on Facebook, whether you be on YouTube, please like it and share it and move it across the nation. There's a lot of people that still need to have hope. I received some discouraging news about a situation that I've been praying about for a couple of years now, dealing with the family, and the result of let's say the first phase of it, the second phase of it was very discouraging. So I had to go into immediate prayer, in order to refresh my faith. And so that's the result. And the result of that is this particular night's devotional tonight that we're going to be praying um, and meditating on tonight. It comes from the book of Lamentations. Chapter 3, verses, just 3 verses here, 21 through 23, 21 through 23. And if you'll read there with me, if you have your Bible, if you don't, let me listen to me, and I'll read it aloud for you. It says this: I still have hope. That's out of tonight's lesson. But Lamentations chapter 3, verse 21 through 23. This I recall to my mind. Therefore, I have hope. Through the Lord's mercies, we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Great is your patience, is written by the prophet Jeremiah. We call him the weeping prophet because his work, his labor, he felt was in vain, but yet he still answered to the call that was placed upon his life to go out a silver lining in the midst of his task. With no reward in his task. Never had anyone to step forward and say, you know what, I accept what you're preaching there, preacher. I believe what you're preaching, and I accept it on today. He never had that happen to him. And so, listen, Lamentations is one of those difficult books. It's difficult because of all the images of suffering that fill all the pages. All the pages of the book of Lamentations is suffering. Lamentations is tears, or book of tears, sadness. And so yet in the very middle of all the Jeremiah's words of pain, suffering are words of hope, words of hope. In fact, it is as if the prophet Jeremiah simply turns a corner in his mind and begins thinking of God's character and nature rather than his circumstances. Let me pause there for a second and say this. That's typical of us. We will be blinded by our circumstances, and we have to regroup and be reminded of God's character. You have to be reminded that you are praying to a God, serving a God that has never left you, has never forsaken you. So in the midst of your situation now, why would you think that a God of that type of caliber and character and integrity would turn his back on you at that time? Listen, it's at that moment where we read these words, therefore, I have hope. Uh, I have hope. I have hope. That needs to resonate in someone's spirit today. I have hope. I have therefore, listen, you got to understand when words are placed for a meaning. Therefore is placed because of what is before there. So because of all this stuff, because of all the heartache, because of all the pain, because of all the trials, because of all the tribulations, because of all the heartache, because of all the trials, all the tribulation, all the strife, all the mental stress, all the sickness, all the disruption, all the heartbreak. In the midst of this broken world, hope can be hard to come by. Therefore, in the midst of all of this, I have hope. Each day we are facing and we are face to face with tragedy, face to face with sickness, we're face to face with death, but it is within this reality of pain that God will always bring you a glimmer of hope. This hope is not founded on our situation or our ability. Thank God. Our hope is founded on God. Y'all, listen, we can have hope. We can have it. We can have it. So the question then becomes, how can we have hope in God? How can we have hope in God? The question, like I said, after all of this, after all this strife, all of this mental anguish, after all this sickness and all this pain, after all this trouble, after all these troublesome circumstances, after all these issues, after all these bills, after all these financial concerns, after all this relationship destruction, after all this feast and famine and heartbreak and war and turmoil and pain, after all of this, the question becomes, how can we have hope in God? Listen, here's the answer. Here's the answer. The answer is always present and never before. He is all powerful. Yes, sir. He is all knowing. He's never changing. And most of all, I want you to remember this. He loves us. Yes, sir. He loves us unconditionally in the midst of your pain, in the midst of your circumstance. This means that no matter the pain, no matter how great the pain, no matter how deep the pain, no matter how long the pain, even though they may say 40 years, even though they may say 30 years, even though they may tell you you only have 6 months left to live, even though they may tell you you only have a few days, even though they may tell you if they don't get an answer by Tuesday, you still have hope. Y'all, I'm about to shout myself crazy because when I look back over my life and all the situations I've been through and all the pain and all the strife and all the misery and all the agony and all the defeats and all the closed doors